Leadership and your council staff, it's been right across Western Queensland. You go from Winton, Paru, Bulu, Barcoo, Winton and Longreach. Every council has stood up in protecting their communities, and we've stood together, and we're on our way through this. And there'll be some benefits that come out of this after the short-term pay, and we'll get a good season out of this.
We will.
And we're just saying to Australians, if they want to help, the best thing they can do is a month's so time, get your caravan or just come out and have a look around here. There's plenty of good motel rooms. You can do a lot for this part of the world, but part of that healing is about making sure you aren't forgotten, and we are committing to that radar station today to make sure. And I've got to say, it wasn't until Saturday and I sat down in Quilpie with the residents of Adavale. There's 27 residents of Adavale. They've lost their town, they've lost their homes, and they had no warning. The nearest radar is 2,000 kilometres away at Alice Springs. The Bureau of Meteorology didn't have the data to be able to warn them, and it was literally a life and death situation. There are people I met on Saturday that are lucky to have their lives today. If it wasn't for the swift action of the local policemen and a couple of locals, we could have had fatalities on our hands because they'd lost communication with the outside world. Our closest town was 100 kilometres away in Quilpie. They had no one to ring, they had no help to get but themselves. But we've got to give the Bureau the tools they need to be able to get early warnings in there so someone can get to them and they know that something's happening and we can make those informed decisions. And it is timely that we're here, that we understand, the rest of Australia understands that these are just the tools that most Australians take for granted. But this is life and death, and it shouldn't matter whether it's 27 people or 27,000 people. We actually need these tools. We need a radar to be able to equip the bomb with that data to allow the heroes like Tractor and his council staff to mobilise and lead their communities. And we are just lucky. We are just damn lucky that no one lost their life over the last couple of weeks because it was just because of their courage and their conviction that saved it. And I'm just saying, now's the time for us not to skimp on anything. Is the first pathway to give these people confidence in Western Queensland is to give them the tools. That what happened in Adavale doesn't happen again. That we can say to the people of Adavale and right across Western Queensland, you will have the tools to protect yourselves as every other Australian should. That shouldn't matter on your postcode. And thanks Peter for coming out here, mate. This just shows what it is to be Australian. This is the essence of real Australia that our country was built on, out here. And they've had a tough run, but they're not over and they're ready to fight on. But if we make a small investment in them and their well-being and their lives, we'll get a return. And so we wanted to make that commitment today. And can I just say to David Crucifulli, the other commitments that he's making and will make, and I know in a bipartisan way with the government around the immediate recovery. And it's important that I know there's a lot of talk about getting Defence Force in here quickly. The thing that we need to do is actually support local contractors first, because many of those choppers that you're seeing out at the airport, they may not have an income for another 18 months. So we need to utilise to their full capacity all the local contractors in Western Queensland to get the fodder out there before we start rolling troops in here, because their economy, their jobs and their employees won't have anything at the end of this. So I just congratulate David Crucifulli for the way that he has handled this and understanding that it's not just about saving life and limb, it's about making sure that these towns have a future into the long run and that those jobs are protected by employing every last person in town to deploy the recovery that's needed here and now. And then if their capacity is reached, then we do reach into the Defence Force. I know it's great television to have the Defence Force roll in, but the main thing we've got to do is let these men and women, these contractors do their job, and when the Defence Force is needed, they'll be there. I know Peter will work with the Prime Minister if that call comes, but David Crucifulli has pulled the right rein every time on this, and we just make sure, and he knows that we're there to give that up support if we need to. So thanks for coming, Peter, and it means a lot to lift spirits to know that this is a real important part of Australia. There's 220 people living in Thargo, so there's not too many votes.
180 on the roll or something like that.
180. But this is just about saying to you, Tractor, and to all those mayors, Paru, Barcoo, Winton and Longreach, thank you. We really appreciate it, but we're going to invest in you and your future so that you don't have to go through